Hello, Father Jay here once again with a few reflections for this fourth week in Advent as we really get close to the Christmas celebration and all that goes with it. And I think it's kind of interesting and neat because we have a story that goes on here beginning on Sunday as we look at the first chapter of St. Luke's Gospel. And in that we go from the Annunciation to Mary's visit to Elizabeth, to the birth of John the Baptist and Zechariah's canticle in the Gospels of the beginning of the week. And they speak to us of joy and happiness, of a new beginning. And it is what it's all about, a new beginning. And we see this so evidently. But it's also about service. And I don't know as we always reflect upon that. Mary at the Annunciation ends by saying, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done unto me as you say. Saying she's the handmaid. She's expressing herself as a form of a servant. And she exemplifies this as from there the narrative goes on to her leaving her home and going into the hill country of Judah to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, whom it is revealed to her at the Annunciation, is with child, an elder relative who is thought to be barren and who is rejoicing in the fact of her pregnancy, but also having to be careful. And, we see this in pregnancies today. What must it have been like 2,000 years ago without all of the medical science and everything that we have available to us in higher risk pregnancies? So Elizabeth is keeping kind of to herself, and Mary goes to help her. Help her, although right from the Annunciation, she herself is pregnant. But she goes off in service to a relative who needs it. She doesn't hold back. She knows she's to be the mother of the Savior. And yet, she doesn't have any airs about that. She doesn't put herself above other people. She goes and helps. And when Elizabeth recognizes who she is, not Mary, the relative, but she who is bearing the Savior, she acknowledges it. How is it that the mother of my Lord comes to me? How is it? This isn't the normal way. And yet it is God's way, the way of his faithful followers, to do the best that they can for those who are in need. And Mary stays there and helps her to the end when she brings forth John the Baptist, and the whole neighborhood rejoices with her. But at the same time, there's her husband, Zechariah, who at the message of Gabriel did not believe, thought it was impossible. A priest, a Jewish priest who limited God's possibilities and was made mute because of it. And yet, with the child's birth and him insisting on the name of John, which everybody was trying to talk Elizabeth out of giving the child, but he insisted on, he could speak again. Because once again, he is serving God. He has acknowledged what a fool he was not to believe. And then there's his wonderful canticle, the canticle of Zechariah, in which he says that the child will be the herald, will be the one who goes before the Lord to prepare his way, to make things right before the coming of the Christ. Again, a role of service. This child, this miracle child, comes to serve, is born to serve, and will serve all of these people in the service of God's message, yes, most assuredly, but also in the service to mankind. And I think that's the point that we sometimes forget. But at the same time, as all of his service is called to be given to mankind, there's also the giving of praise to God. The Magnificat that Mary recites or gives when Elizabeth's greeting reaches her. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has done great things for me, and all generations will call me blessed. Because of me? No. Because of what God has done for me. And Zechariah also gives praise to God in his canticle as well. And this is the whole point. The two come together. And so we have a new beginning. What is that new beginning? Obedience to God, praise to God, and service to our brothers and sisters. That is the Christian message in a nutshell. In a nutshell. And that's what Christmas is all about. And that's what these last days, as we prepare for that great feast, are all about. To remind us what this is starting, where it's going, and that we are blessed. As we come to this point, we need a new beginning. We now have the COVID-19 vaccine, which we've been waiting for, a new beginning in that too. May there be many new beginnings in your lives, but may they be in service to one another, in praise to God, now and always. Have a great week and a Merry Christmas.